Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, you're going to see me take on Nino. Now Nino is a 2100 rated chess player. This guy's no joke, okay? We went to a chess tournament together with our local chess group, and he was actually the only one out of all of us who was able to secure a prize. I think he came second in the tournament, which is amazing. So, without giving away too much, you're going to see me play a 10-minute rapid match against him over the board. And if you're wondering about what my rating is, just watch the video and let chess speak for itself.
And with the shake of the hands, the game starts. And Nino starts with e4, I respond with c6, d4, and we have a d5, and we are in a Caro-Kann. Nino goes for the exchange variation. He takes on d5, I take back, and he develops his knight. And I decide to pin his knight with my bishop on g4. Now the engine says this is a good move. I say this is my move. It may not be the best move, but you know, it's a human move, and it's a human versus a human, so it's fine. So he does a good move too, you see. He plays c3, defending the pawn on d4. Yeah, it's maybe not the best move, but very logical. Now my move here is not so logical, because I didn't need to do that at that moment. Maybe to block the bishop from coming to g5. Did I say bishop? I mean bishop, okay? We do call it sometimes bishop, but that's just a little joke between me and my chess buddies. But anyway, yeah, it was an unnecessary move of mine, I will say that. However, again, you're playing as a human, not as an engine. You're playing against a human and not an engine. So Nino here plays f4, developing the bishop. I play a6, trying to control the square on b5. However, very careful here. Tactics. Be mindful of tactics, please. So some of you might say, why didn't you just block the queen with pawn to b5? Well, let's examine this. Let's see what happens if I had done that. Well, as you can see, it would have been a major blunder, because maybe you can see it yourself. This might have happened. Bishop takes b5, a brilliant move, because after that I can't take the bishop back, because if I do, bam, I lose my rook. And then after that, my knight is under attack by both the bishop and the queen, so I'm forced to move my knight. Now the knight can move, definitely, the knight can go to, well, d7, but then right after that, the pawn on d5 is up for grabs and I lose another pawn. So, and if you look at this position and all these empty squares, the queen side is completely eviscerated basically. This is just a very, very bad position. So, nah, the knight was better. Now, not to say that the knight was the only option. Maybe I could have brought back the bishop. But in this case, I wanted to show you, because some of y'all would say, you know, push the pawn. And I wanted to show you what would happen. So naturally, he develops, or not develops, but he puts his knight on e5. So naturally, I had to bring back my bishop to d7 to defend my knight on c6, which was under a double attack by the queen and his knight. So this was my way to defend. Now I see in this position Nino is taking his time to think and think and think, because obviously there might be some chances here, because look at my queen side, it's looking like Swiss cheese with all the holes there. So he's taking his time to see if there's something else he can do to continue his attack on this side. So he moves his queen to b3, attacking my pawn on b7 and at the same time my other pawn on d5. So I had to find a way to defend both now. So I'm totally in defense mode, and for me the option was to bring back the bishop to its starting square, unfortunately, but by doing so defending both pawns. The queen now is looking at the pawn on d5 and the bishop is guarding the pawn on b7. So again, you know, take some time to think and think and think. And this is the moment I want to stress and point out. When you're playing a rapid game or a blitz game, time is of the essence. Time management becomes a vital part of your game. The best thing you can do when you're playing Rapid and Blitz is think in the time or on the time of your opponent. That way you make your moves fast and you can gain an advantage with your time. As you can see, I'm up over 2 minutes, far over 2 minutes actually. And use the time of your opponent to actually find out what are the options of your opponent. And then once they make the move, you'll be faster to react because you've already seen it, hopefully. You've seen the options, you've seen your reaction as well. So in this point of the game, I'm just trying to get out of this very cramped position, trying to develop pieces, trying to take away any kind of attacks he has. And as you can see, he takes back with the pawn. I decide to attack his bishop because his bishop there was very annoying. Now, all I'm thinking at this point of the game is I need to get out of this constricted position, develop my pieces, and get some piece activity. Because I'm very late in my development due to all that defending earlier. So I decide to make my queen more active. Nino brings his knight even more to the game, and I create a pawn chain to secure my pawns and also create some space so my bishop can move out the way and I can finally castle and bring my king to safety. And after Nino centralizes his knight in the middle of the board, I develop my bishop and do exactly what I wanted to do, which was finally castle kingside. Now I have to say that if you look at the evo bar, Nino is doing everything right. He's playing a lot of good moves. Look at where my king is, look where his pieces are. They're much more active, much more ready to attack. While most of my pieces are still stuck on the queen side, and by moving his queen to d1, my knight on h5 is under attack, and the only way for me to really defend it, because my knight is out of squares to retreat, is to push the pawn on g6 and defend my knight. But by doing so, unfortunately, I am exposing a free pawn on h6. Need to take some time to think here, but you know, it's really a good move. If you see a free pawn, take the free pawn. Exactly what he did, and this was the best move. Now I have a few options here. What do? Do I go away with my rook because it's under attack, or do I play back the knight and defend it that way, which is what I did. Best move in the game, I agree. Now he brings in his queen, making it even more dangerous, you know, just continuing the attack, bringing more pieces in, looking at the king, and just to see what his options are by doing so. So I do something kind of weird, because I just covered my rook with my knight, and now I'm uncovering it and putting my knight there, as if to say, yeah, go ahead, take my rook, I don't care, I found something else. But in reality I didn't really find something else. So I developed my knight there. I take back after he takes my rook, and yeah, basically it's another good trade. So now Nino thinks, and he decides to take my knight. I take back with the pawn, obviously. Now here he moves back with the queen. I don't really understand that move, because now I feel like my move is not so bad. I can block the pawn push with my queen, making some more space, and slowly start to get my pieces into the game, and maybe at some point have some counterattack chances. I give a check, because why not? Let's give a check, let's move the bishop out. Maybe I don't need the bishop over there. However, now you can see all those little holes that I need to fill with something. And after developing my bishop, he goes for the weak squares. Not really, because I have a dark square bishop. And I decide to just chase the queen away, because no chance can I let the queen come in. You want to put your queen there? I'm going to chase you. I'm going to put my bishop there. Get out of here is what I'm saying. But actually, by this sequence of moves, my bishop ends on g7. And even though the computer says it's an inaccuracy, this bishop turns out to be the MVP of this game. Exactly where it is right now is exactly where it needs to be. So in a weird turn of events, the bishop actually gets to a square where it does carry the entire game. At this point, Nino is thinking there must be a way to attack there, right? The h-file looks so tempting. maybe I can get the rook behind the queen and just checkmate or create some trouble there. So I now see chances to create a counterattack. Finally, there's some space for me to do some attacking. I've been defending the entire game. Why this move does nothing, and really it's just a loss of tempo, because the rook cannot come here on this square because of this pawn, cannot come here because of this pawn. So the amount of squares that the rook can go to is actually very, very limited. So this does nothing. Now, if you want to create some kind of attack on the h-file, you might want to think to put the queen in front of the rook somehow. So let's go back. So what if he did that? So the queen could come here and attack my rook. So I need to move my rook. One step forward was enough. So now, what can you do? Well, maybe you can support the queen and go behind the queen like this. But you can see that the queen really doesn't have any squares to stand on except for this one. But even that doesn't do much. So let's say I continue my attack. Now, the queen comes in here. I simply move one square aside with my king, and there's really no other place for the queen to go. So the queen does nothing, and you're standing on this h-file, and I'm just going to continue my attack. While most of your big pieces, or your biggest, strongest piece, your queen, is not there to do anything. So that's why this move does not work, and the whole idea of trying to create some kind of threat or attack on the g-file is just a waste of time. Yeah. So here I continue my attack on d4, attacking the pawn on c3. And well, if you don't take it, I'm probably just gonna take the pawn. I don't know if that's desired, but he takes the pawn, I take back, and look at that, the best move. Now, we're entering a very dangerous zone here, because if you look at the time, it's 1 minute and 12 seconds, and just going down. Soon we're entering the bullet time, it's gonna get down to 1 minute. The pressure is building. What are you gonna do? So, at this moment, the whole idea, Nino committed himself to the attack on the h-file. It has to happen now. Because if you don't do it now, I'm going to win the game, and you're going to lose, and it's all on camera. Like, oh my god. So, of course, in time pressure, what happens? You try your last Hail Mary attempt to checkmate. And I do believe he calculated a checkmate on the last few seconds, and he decides to go for it. And there you have it. The rook sacrifice. I take back with the pawn. And now, what's gonna happen now, guys? This is very tense. I have to move the queen. Of course, I see the time as well. And I go for, well, the best thing to do is go for the queen exchange. Because without a queen, how are you gonna checkmate me, huh? You only got 20 seconds left. What are you gonna do? So, obviously he moves away his queen, because who's gonna do that, So I take the pawn, because it's now covered by the queen. And now he puts his rook on d1, going for one last attempt on checkmate. And I have to check real good here that I'm not gonna F it up at the last moment. So I see what's going to happen. I take the bishop. I can escape with my king to h7. And Nino tries to grab something that's not there anymore. He pushes the pawn to prevent the checkmating one. I slide it down. He goes up with the king. I slide in the queen. And we exchange queens. And the time is ticking. And there's nothing else to do but eventually to resign. And oh my god, I beat Nino. One of the best players in our group, a 2100 rated player. The happiness and relief is on my face, and what a tough battle. What a game. The hard work has paid off. And there you have it. A nice win against a 2100 rated player. Nino's a great guy, he's a good sport, and we have loads of fun when we play chess together. If you liked the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe if you want to see more. I've got loads of content coming your way. If you want to leave a comment, do that. I'll read it, I'll respond. I may not respond depending on what you're saying. But yeah, catch you in the next one, guys. Thank you for watching again. Bye-bye. And there you
I've got loads of content coming your way, lots of nice stuff coming your way, a lot of stuff coming your way. Everything's just coming your way. Okay, it's all coming your way. Loads of more content coming your way, and I stuttered again. Jesus Christ, when can I finish this video? I've been doing this so many times. Nino is a great guy, he's a great sport, and I enjoy myself profusely when we play chess together, and this video is so fake, it makes me want to vomit. Actually makes me want to vomit. Lots of nice things to share with you guys. The f***? I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. And there's this thing in my eye. I don't think you can see it on the video, but whatever.